I'm Bo Rutledge. I have the honor of serving as the dean of this law school, and I would like to welcome you to the commencement exercises for the class of 2023. Sometimes I feel like being dean requires me to deliver bad news. And so in this moment, I'm going to ask you please to make sure your cell phones are on silent and do not ring during the ceremony. Thank you. I just realized I forgot mine in the car. As you are able, I invite you to stand. For the national anthem, which will be presented for the first time in history of a law school commencement by the classmates and husband and wife couple. Nazrina Ali, accompanied by her husband, Josh Allen.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Josh and Nazrina, and you all please be seated. I promised myself I wasn't going to cry. I'm already failing. In January of 1780, Abigail Adams wrote a letter to her son John as he boarded a ship to France in the midst of the American Revolution. "My dear son," she wrote, "it is not in the still calm of life or the repose of a Pacific station that great characters are formed. The habits of a vigorous mind are formed in contending with difficulties. All history will convince you of this, that wisdom and penetration are the fruits of experience and not the lessons of retirement and leisure. Great necessities call out great virtues. When a mind is raised and animated by scenes that engage the heart, then those qualities which would otherwise lay dormant wake into life and form the character of a hero. Love, your mother." I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that this group began class during the midst of a great pandemic. And as Shay Maloney's family reminded me last night, for many of you who graduated college in the class of 2020, this is your first live university ceremony. I would be equally remiss if I did not acknowledge that for this class it has been years of moments of great joy and at times profound heartbreak. But I steadfastly reject the proposition that the class of 2023 will ever be remembered as the COVID class. Rather, This is a class that, in Abigail Adams's words, is one in which great characters were formed and heroes were created. So members of the audience, let me introduce you for a moment to the heroes of the class of 2023. This class won 5 national and international advocacy competitions, 7 regional championships. 4 of its members received Best Oralist or Advocate accolades at these competitions. 94% of this class participated in at least 1 law clinic. 71% of them participated in 2 or more clinics. They helped a victim of child abuse secure a $1.1 million verdict for their client. They helped military veterans secure benefits. They provided over 2,400 hours of service to individuals trying to start small businesses. They appeared in front of 4 federal appellate courts and won in several of them. They were in bylines or featured in 10 media outlets throughout the country. And they were recipients of countless professional recognitions and awards: a John Paul Stevens Fellowship, a Corporate Council of Women of Color Scholarship, an American Constitution Society Next Generation Leader, the Georgia Hispanic Bar Association's Law Student of the Year. They were members of the Clinical Legal Education Association's Outstanding Clinic Team Award. They led the law school's newest journal, the Criminal Law Review. One member of this class helped pass federal legislation, and a member of this class is about to go to Top Gun. Not the Aviation Academy, but the nation's mock trial competition, and they are indeed our maverick. This class helped win and bring back to the law school the Attorney General's trophy for winning the 2023 Legal Food Frenzy Award. And in the course of the past 3 years, this class raised over $37,000 to help feed the food insecure in the Athens area. They witnessed the dogs win not 1, but 2 national titles. And they built community in countless ways, from enjoying lunch in the grass with their picnic blankets, getting hugs from Java Joy, sweet treats from the Little Ice Cream Dude, PBRs with PBR, learning how to roll sushi with Professor Ringhand, make pasta with Tony Waller, and at last count, consuming 37,000 gallons of coffee from Jittery Joe's. That last fact, by the way, I have no idea whether or not it's accurate, but it's approximate. So let there be no doubt. This is a class of heroes. This is a class of virtue. This is a class in which character was formed. So as these commencement ceremonies begin, will you join me in a round of applause for the heroes of the class of 2023? And at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce one member of your class, Class President Frank Lumpkin IV. Frank attended the University of Georgia as an undergraduate and obtained a Bachelor of Business in Finance with graduate certificates. He has a litany of activities and accomplishments that would take 25 minutes to read. But I will close with this. Upon graduation, Frank will join the Hall Booth Smith firm in Columbus, Georgia, and serve his country as a Judge Advocate General in the Army Reserve. Please join me in welcoming Frank Lumpkin to the podium.
Well, thank you, Dean Rutledge. That was too kind. And guys, this is it. Well, other than the bar exam and gainful employment, we're done. Today, we gather to celebrate our class, to reflect on the journey that we've had together here, and to reflect on the journey on which we are about to embark. It is fitting that so many of our professors, support staff, mentors, family, and friends sit in the crowd today, because each of you has enabled us to walk across the stage today. And your support deserves more than just a passing acknowledgement. Thank you to all these people. Can I get a round of applause? Today is a celebration of the professors who not only delivered lectures to us, but actually imparted knowledge, I'll never forget my 1L summer when I was working in Washington, D.C., and a congressman walked up to me and caught wind that I was a law student. He said, "Lumpkin, Hadley versus Baxendale." Contracts, reasonable mill, cog, reasonable foreseeability, I answered. And that put a grin on Congressman Kent Hance's face. Thank you, Dean Barnett, for that. I think of those who exceeded their job descriptions to help us succeed. Dr. Orford, for example, took the time to negotiate with my partner, Hannah Donovan, and me, nearly every day leading up to our negotiation competition. And I know that he did this for members of other advocacy teams as well. And let's not forget those professors who fostered a sense of community, such as Dean Shipley, who participated in our weekly pigskin pick'em in the fall and took an annual pie to the face to raise money for our local food bank during Food Frenzy. And of course, we couldn't have made it this far without the tireless efforts of the staff who provided us with unparalleled comforts to make us feel at home at UGA. I think of Miss Mary, for example, who always had way too much of some treat for every finals and holiday season. And we also owe a great debt of gratitude to Teresa, Cam, Sean, Janice, Kari, Rochelle, Henry, Gwendolyn, Whitney, and Richard for maintaining our facilities in a spirit of joy and in kindness. And finally, I thank Dean Rutledge and the rest of our administration for leading us to this milestone. Without your guidance and support, we would not be standing here today, ready to embark on our next chapter as lawyers. Today we celebrate the milestone of becoming Juris Doctors, MSLs, and LLMs. But why did we go through all of this? It's a question worth considering. And if you don't have an answer, I encourage you to reflect on the personal statement that you wrote to get into UGA. For me, I came to law school to serve my hometown, Columbus, Georgia, as an engaged young professional and hopefully later as a locally elected official. Now finishing law school, I'm on my way to joining a firm back home in the U.S. Army Reserve JAG Corps to launch a career in public service. Others had similarly clear goals. Cason Smith, for example, is going to take over his dad's practice back in Hazelhurst, Georgia, and will serve an underserved area in our state that needs a bright legal mind like his. Jonah Chadwick Grego came to law school to serve his home community in the Hispanic villages of northern New Mexico and is taking steps towards that goal by doing clerkships at the state Supreme Court and Court of Appeals. Or MSL graduate Michelle Creswell, who came to UGA to influence policy at the highest level in her career at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Some of us came in with different goals. Taylor McClain originally came in to practice civil rights litigation, but during her time here, shifted her focus to influencing issues more broadly through corporate social impact consulting. Or my boss, Alexandra Hammock, who came to law school wanting to go in-house, but along the way found a rare interest in tax law. And she'll continue her education at, no booing, Florida law. These are just a few of the fantastic stories that brought us here today. Each of us came with a different reason. However, we share a set of tools that will allow us to advocate for our communities, pursue powerful ideas, and lead authentically. Luke 12:48 says, "To whom much is given, much is expected," an Abrahamic principle that transcends the religious and secular worlds. We have been blessed with so much during our time here. Now, what will we do with those blessings? The answer to that question will be different for each of us. We are a class with great diversity of opinions, uniqueness of gifts, and multiplicity of ideals. This led to moments of tension where our differences seemed to clash irreconcilably. Yet, we overcame that tension by focusing on one another's humanity and engaging each other with civility. We considered how we spoke to each other as important as the substance of what we discussed. At every turn, we supported each other. We found community during a pandemic, whether via Zoom or safely distanced with masks in person. We cheered each other on through the brief season and the Russell competition. We slugged through agonizing notes drafting and editing by gathering at bar review every Thursday. We celebrated wins at advocacy competitions, lauded our friends selected for publications in journals and law reviews, celebrated classmates winning awards of all varieties, and cheered on those already practicing in courtrooms and before adjudicative panels. We danced our worries away at barrister's ball and semiformals. We watched our football team bring home 2 national championships. And we mourned the loss of 4 of our classmates together. A tragedy that no class should ever have to experience, but an experience that made our class stronger nonetheless. I hope that we will leave this place and enter the world with the same degree of civility and friendship. As fellow graduates of this esteemed institution, we can do so much more together than we can as individuals. I heard somebody say once that it is not about the GPA, but about the friends that you make along the way. To me, that statement holds so much truth. And no, not just because I usually choose to leave my GPA off my resume. This statement holds truth because we developed friendships here, friendships that have made us richer people, friendships that have given us newer perspectives, and friendships that will lead to collaborations that will change our world. I want to encourage all of us, wherever we are headed, to leave that place better than we found it. We've already done that at UGA Law. As the most academically competitive class ever admitted to UGA, we set the bar high in 2020. We continue to make our mark by bringing home advocacy victories, such as Rachel Byers and Jack Mann, warming up our football team by beating the Gators at the moot court competition in Jacksonville on Georgia-Florida weekend. I think of students like Molly Laughlin, who spearheaded the founding of the Georgia Criminal Law Review, while others like Anna Starks organized conferences to facilitate meaningful dialogue on campus. Through clinics and public interest experiential learning opportunities, we donated more pro bono hours than any class before us, doing work like William Corbin's argument before the Board of Veterans' Appeals to help his veteran client receive full disability, or Noah Nix's argument before the Second Circuit Court of Appeals to prevent the deportation of a man who would have likely been killed had he returned to his home country. And these efforts led to UGA moving up in rank of the best law schools from number 29 to number 20. Can I get a round of applause for that? I mentioned several of my classmates by name, but I want all of you to know that each of you has been important to me and this institution. You have not been forgotten, and your impacts, or your contributions, have been impactful. This class has brought glory, glory to old Georgia. Let us continue to make change, continue to make our mark, and continue to make whatever community we are in a better place. I'm just glad to know these people. They are the future of this state, this nation, and this world. I always heard the governor's race starts at Hirsch Hall, and I understand why after fellowshipping with these folks. One of my classmates, I'm sure, will serve as CEO of a Fortune 500 company, a federal court judge, or a Georgia Supreme Court justice. We will be lawyers, legislators, jurists, and business people who will change our world one case, one policy, one decision, and one idea at a time. We are the legal profession's future, and I do not doubt that we will make our mark. Let us use our blessings to make a positive difference in the world, serve our communities, and advocate for justice. Again, let us carry with us the lessons that we learned here, the relationships we formed, and the skills that we honed. Brian Kane will now come to the podium to welcome us to this new phase of our life as UGA Law alums. Brian serves as president of the Law Schools Association Council. Brian has spent his entire career at Holt, Nate, Zatkoff, Wasserman in Atlanta, and is a partner specializing in commercial real estate, leasing, and telecommunications law. Brian studied at UGA for his undergraduate degree, obtaining a Bachelor in Arts and graduating magna cum laude before coming to UGA Law. And I will go out on a limb and say that out of all of Brian's accomplishments, the one of which he is most proud is graduating from UGA Law. Besides supporting UGA Law by serving as the association's president, Brian and his wife Kim, who's sitting in the front row, created a fund to provide full-ride scholarships to 2 students who demonstrated success in the face of challenging circumstances along their journey to law school. Brian, thank you for your commitment to UGA. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Frank. Graduates, congratulations. It's been a long haul, and you did it, you survived. In the words, the immortal words of Alice Cooper, school's out forever. Sorry, there's a little asterisk there at the end. We're not going to talk about the B word in July. Enjoy this weekend, have fun with your family, go get a cocktail at lunch, and let's not worry about that this weekend. Parents, you also survived. Congratulations. And if you're paying tuition for these guys, you just got a big pay raise. Yeah, give yourself a little round of applause there. That's kind of what law school is about, survival, at least the first year, and all of us are survivors. Judge Steve Jones and I survived R. Perry Centel's torts class in 1984, and we're kind of in the Centel Club. I'm sure a few of you are out there as well. My story of survival started working at the Athens Country Club the summer before I started law school. I was having a pretty good time, and a guy showed up, a new employee named Bill from upstate New York, and I'm thinking, why is a guy from New York working at the Athens Country Club? Well, I found out he had just finished his first year of law school. Thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to ask this guy questions all summer long. I'm going to get all the tips, and I'm just going to knock it out of the park my first year because I'll know everything. Boy, was I wrong. He told me all summer how miserable my first year of law school would be. He told me it would be especially miserable if I had Professor Centel for torts. This guy had aced law school, straight A's, maybe a B, but he got a D+ in torts. I really attributed that to the fact that he was from New York and Centel was from Tifton, Georgia, and he probably didn't understand most of what Centel was saying. But anyway, the summer went on, and it was painful. I was scared by the end of the summer, and I had one prayer that when I started law school, I would not be in Professor Centel's section. Didn't work out that way. So anyway, the day before classes started, the law school would post the section lists, and so I rode over to the law school with my friend Reggie, who was going to be my roommate, and on the way over, Reggie said, you know, my older brother had Professor Centel for torts. If I get Professor Centel for torts, I'm transferring to UVA Law School. And he was serious. Of course, I got Professor Centel, and Reggie got to spend the next 3 years in Athens enjoying life. About 3 weeks into Centel's class, I was thinking, this isn't that bad. This guy's actually funny. He's not scary. Yeah, he made students stand up the entire period. He asked us to review law review articles that were footnotes in the cases we were assigned. So it was an extra 3 or 4 hours of work a day that we were subjected to, but didn't think it was that bad. Then it all changed. About 3 weeks in, a guy walked into class late. 5 minutes late, walked in the back. Centel stopped lecturing, started pacing, and just stared at the guy. And then he came back to the podium and said, Mr. Dean, I apologize. I think I forgot to tell you the 3 rules of my torts class. And we're all thinking, okay, we'd all heard the stories. This is where it gets scary. He said, so Mr. Dean, let's set the stage. Your buddy from college calls you up and says, I want to come over and see you and have a beer. And you're thinking, well, I've already, studied for torch tomorrow. I can do that. I can go out and have a beer. Well, that beer turned into 6 beers, and you get home at 2 a.m. in the morning, and you forgot to set your alarm. So, Mr. Dean, what would you do now? And he just kind of stood there and looked and said, well, Mr. Dean, what you do is you just sleep in that day, because number 1 rule of torch class is never come to my class late. Mr. Dean, number 2, my second rule of torch class, let's say your mama calls from Atlanta and she said, honey, we really want to come over and see you. We've been missing you for these last 3 weeks. I know you have time for dinner. And you're thinking, yeah, it's going to be a short one because I got 4 or 5 hours of torch to study tonight. And come on over. I think I can fit it in. Well, of course, they stay till 10:30, and you look at the clock and you go, there's no way I'm doing 4 or 5 hours of torch class tonight. And Professor Centel said, Mr. Dean, what would you do now? I said, Mr. Dean, what you do is you just skip my class tomorrow, because number 2 rule of torch class is never come unprepared. You got it? Okay, Professor Centel, what's the 3rd rule? Centel said, Mr. Dean, the number 3 rule of torch class is what? Always come to my class. So Steve, we survived. You go through the stress and the trauma of law school, but you realize there's a purpose there. It's shaping you towards your career, because you are going to be under some stress and strain as you go out into the legal world. But this institution, this faculty, they've prepared you well, because you guys are awesome. I'm pleased to be here because I know several of you graduating today, and this is an awesome class. And so I want to leave you with my 3 rules for you. The first one may sound a little familiar. Number 1, always go to court and to your meeting on time. Part 1B, always go prepared. Don't ever go unprepared. And number 3, always go. And my second rule for you is get involved in this institution. You're going to be graduating today. It's time to give back, pay it forward, and you will be pleased that you've done that. You've got an awesome administration here, an awesome dean. Keep it going. Let's pass Harvard and Yale during your lifetime and show them who really is the best law school in the country. And number 3, when you're writing that check for your new BMW every month, make a little check out to the University of Georgia Foundation, the Law School Foundation. You'll be glad you did. Congratulations.
Good morning, all. My name is Nishka Malik, and I'm the Vice President of the Class of 2023. It is my honor to introduce the Class of 2023 Commencement Speaker, the Honorable Judge Stephen C. Jones. Judge Jones is a District Judge of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia. On January 5th, 2011, Judge Jones was nominated by President Barack Obama to become a United States District Judge. Judge Jones was sworn in as a District Judge on March 4th, 2011. In this role, he presides over cases that involve the United States government, the United States Constitution, federal laws, controversies between citizens of different states, and other matters. Prior to his nomination to the District Court, Judge Jones served as a Superior Court Judge in the Western Judicial Circuit, Athens, Clarke, and Oconee counties. Judge Jones was appointed to the Superior Court in 1995. In this role, he presided over civil and criminal cases, and in addition to his regular caseload, he's also presided over the Western Judicial Circuit Felony Drug Court Program, a program that integrates alcohol and substance abuse treatment with court supervision. Prior to his Superior Court judicial appointment, Judge Jones served as an Athens-Clarke County Municipal Court Judge, Assistant District Attorney for the Western Judicial Circuit, and Director of the Athens Child Support Recovery Unit. Judge Jones has offered his time and leadership to numerous academic, community, legal, and social organizations. At his alma mater, he is an Emeritus Trustee for the University of Georgia Foundation, a member of the University of Georgia Athletic Association Board, and Vice President of the Russell Foundation. In addition, he is a past president of the University of Georgia's Alumni Association and the UGA chapter of the National Football Foundation, College Hall of Fame. Judge Jones is a member and secretary of the Old Warhorse Lawyers Club, a member of the Lawyers Club of Atlanta, and a member of the Advocates Club. Judge Jones is also president of the Clark Carly American Inn of Court and a trustee for the Francis Wilson Wood Foundation. Judge Jones is a former chair of the Georgia Judicial Qualifications Commission, the University of Georgia School of Law's Board of Visitors 2003, and the Athens Area Community Foundation 2007 to 2010. He also served on Piedmont College's Board of Trustees 2003 to 2011, and the Georgia Chief Justice's Commission on Professionalism 2013 to 19, as well as the Georgia Supreme Court's Commission on Equality 2006 to 2008, and Domestic Violence Committee 2001 to 2004. Judge Jones has won many awards for his judicial and community service. For example, in 2018, he received the Chief Justice Thomas O. Marshall Professionalism Award presented by the State Bar of Georgia. And in 2015, he received the Blue Key Service Award presented by the Georgia chapter of the Blue Key National Honor Society. In 1998, he was the recipient of the Chief Justice Robert Benham Award for Community Service. In 2007, he received the Volunteer of the Year Award presented by the Junior League of Athens and Athens First Bank and Trust. Also in 2007, he was named Omega Citizen of the Year by the Zeta Beta Beta chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Judge Jones has also received the Gate City Bar Association's Outstanding Jurist Award, the University of Georgia's Alumni Merit Award, and the University of Georgia School of Law's Distinguished Service Scroll Award, as well as the University of Georgia Fulfilling the Dream Award. Other awards and honors received include Leadership Georgia's E. Dale Threadgill Community Service Award, the Association of Legal Professionals Legal Professional of the Year, and the State Bar YLD Judicial Service Award. Judge Jones has also been named an honorary member of the Blue Key Honor Society, an honorary member of the Sphinx, a fellow of the Lawyers Foundation of Georgia, Inc., and a Rotary Club Paul Harris Fellow. Judge Jones attended the University of Georgia and received his Bachelor of Business Administration in 1978 and his JD in 1987. He is married to Lillian Cansey. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Stephen C. Jones.
That was great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's something I always wanted to do when I walk in my courtroom on Monday mornings. I always want to walk in there and say, good morning, and it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Provost Hugh, Dean Rutledge, all the distinguished members of the podium, faculty, staff, family, friends, and the 2023 graduating class. Let me say it's indeed a great honor and pleasure to be the speaker for the 2023 Law School Commencement. About 100 years ago, I attended and graduated from this law school. You graduated earlier, okay? And I consider that one of the greatest opportunities I've had in life. To be able to stand here today as the commencement speaker for a school that I love and care a lot about is a special honor. And I want to thank you, Dean Rutledge, for sending the invitation to me. It's a pleasure to work with you, and I appreciate your friendship. I have tremendous respect for you, and thank you for all you do for this law school. We're all very fortunate to have Provost Hugh here today and part of the university's leadership. He is a friend and a person I have great admiration for. To Ms. Mullick, thank you for that very kind introduction. I will be greatly honored to have you present a case one day in my court, and I look forward to that. Now, it's been said, and I want to say it again, to the family members of the graduates, they could not be here today without you. You are to be congratulated and commended. On the day I graduated from law school here, my mom came up to me and she says, 1/2 of that degree belongs to me. And she was right. To the class of 2023, I want to congratulate you on graduating here today. I want to commend you on meeting the challenges that you had to overcome and being an outstanding graduating class. You're graduating from the top law school in Georgia, and in my opinion, the top law school in America. As I stand here today, sitting in front of me are brilliant legal minds, great oralists, great outstanding legal writers. You will be the future justices, judges, great lawyers, law deans, law professors and teachers, administrators, as well as appointed and elected officials. You will be successful. And I know Provost Hugh and Dean Rutledge, they will annually send some of that success back to UGA. You will find, though, that being an attorney is an honor. I have never regretted one time in the 36 years of being a judge and a lawyer of being a part of the legal profession. The legal profession, it will fulfill your dreams and it'll bring a lot of joy to you. However, the practice of law is not always as glamorous as it appears on television. Being a lawyer can and will bring personal and professional challenges. In 1962, an attorney here in the state of Georgia by the name of C.B. King went to a local jail to visit his client who had been arrested for protesting. And when he arrived at the jail, he was told he couldn't see his client. And he proceeded to tell the sheriff that his client had a right to talk to his lawyer. And upon hearing this, the sheriff, who walked with a cane, hit Mr. King over the head with his cane, cutting open a hole in his head and causing great and severe bleeding. C.B. King's reception in courts was not always civil and should be described sometimes as just being hostile. For example, once he asked for water in court, and they brought him a bucket full of water. He and his family were often threatened, but yet for the next 26 years of his life, he continued to work to block literacy test requirements for voters. He worked for equal rights and fair accommodations for all. Judge John Minor Wisdom enters an opinion that orders that the University of Mississippi admit James Meredith to college. And for the next 27 years, he, along with other judges in all Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, dismantled segregation, ordered equal access to public facilities, and struck down the literacy test for voting. And for this, and for his efforts, he had rattlesnakes placed in his yard, attempts to poison his dogs. He and his families were avoided at church by people he had known all his life that refused to sit on the same pew with him. He had neighbors that refused to speak to him. Barbara Babcock graduated from Yale Law School and clerked at the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. Ms. Babcock finished clerking and went to work for an associate at a prestigious law firm in D.C. called Williams & Connolly. But she wasn't satisfied. She sees the need for indigent people to have good representation, and she leaves Williams & Connolly and joins the legal aid agency in 1966. And she gets paid $16,000 per year. It was a sacrifice, trying to raise a family on $16,000, but she believed that this was her duty. And because of her leadership, the D.C. Public Defender's Office became known as the prime example of an excellent public defender's office, a position that was one of the most sought after jobs in D.C. Now you ask yourself, what would make these three individuals, and many more lawyers and judges like them, subject themselves and their families to such abuse and hostility? What would make these individuals put their family in such financial straits? Well, I'll tell you what. It was because they cared about people and the effect the law would have on them. They cared about helping people. And as I stand here today before each one of you all, with those brilliant minds, great oralists, I say to you as lawyers, you must care about helping people. These three people believe that all persons should be treated equally and justly, and that no one is above the law. They looked at the files they had, and they saw people and not numbers. They saw fathers. They saw mothers. They saw children. They saw families whose lives could be devastated if someone did not care enough to help them. They saw people that were more than statistics. They were people who came to them in need of help, seeking a better life. For the two lawyers, it was important to them that they gave their best representing their clients. You must always give your best when you're representing someone. Whether it is a large company or the mom and pop store in the smallest city in America, you have to give your best. For Judge Wisdom, I believe it was important to him that all people, no matter who they were or where they live, were treated fairly and equally. Today, as new lawyers, you must care about people and helping them. Your success will not necessarily depend on what kind of car you drive or whether you get the corner office in the building, but whether you made a positive difference in someone's life will make the difference. Today, you begin your legal journey, and during that journey, there will be times when you will have to decide whether you are committed to the law and helping people or whether you are protecting your self-interest or seeking popularity. Now, hopefully, none of you will ever suffer physical harm, and you may never have family members and friends abandon you or attempts to harm your pets. But I tell you, one day, you may have to make that decision that is not popular, one that is not politically good for you, one that has your family members and friends advising you to do just the opposite of what you were planning on doing. You may have to make that decision that is not very popular at home. Your decision may not appear on the national news networks, major news outlets, or even social media. And you may be the only person that knows whether you stood for individual rights or cause. But when you care about people, you will not be able to have contentment within yourself until you take that stand. When you care about people, it will not matter whether 500 people agree with you and stand with you or you're standing alone. The acceptance of others will not be your main priority. You will not be able to see individual rights being overrun and do nothing. You will not allow yourself to be put in a position to see wrong and it not bother you. You will not be able to stand and see injustice as a lawyer and it not embarrass you. The law is about helping people have better lives. It's about helping someone during the most difficult times in their lives. My good friend, Professor Dan Coonan, once said, in its essence, the legal profession is a helping profession. Lawyers render service by assisting others as they grapple with serious challenges, difficulties, and oftentimes extreme personal crisis. When you care about people, you're providing that helping service. The public depends on us to be lighthouses, to provide the light to guide them to safe ports. You know, you'll never find a lighthouse down in the valley. It always stands tall on a hill. As lawyers, we stand tall. A good lighthouse lets its light shine all the time. During good times, during storms, it weathers the storm, but the light's still shining. Why? Because ships coming home at night need that light to lead them around the rocks to make it safe. As lawyers, people will come to you during the darkest times of their lives, and they will need you to be that lighthouse to guide them to the justice that America offers. They will need you to let your light shine all the time for everyone, not for the rich, not just for the poor, everyone. From the Bill of Rights to civil rights, we have been the lighthouses for America. The way people view and feel about the law will be based on how you represent them and treat them. Giving respect to your client and the opposing party. Remember, the people on the other side of the case are not your enemies. They just have a different view of the facts and the law from you and your client. Your preparation for your case will reflect how much you care about your client. Your preparation will reflect how much you care about the legal profession. Now, one of the best ways of showing you care about people is being involved in the community. The University of Georgia Law School has provided you with the education and the knowledge that the community needs. Everything you do as a lawyer cannot be about making money or about enhancing your career. Go into the community and use the knowledge you have to make the community better. Be a mentor and help change your life. Do pro bono work and help save a life. Dean Rutledge, I worry sometimes, well, the law is eroding. But when I see lawyers in the community volunteering in high school mock trials, judges and lawyers in our schools and communities teaching about the law, Professor Hugh, I know the legal profession is still leading the way. On this podium, from Provost Hughes to Dean Rutledge to the faculty members you have and staff, they're out in the community every day, teaching in high school mock trials, being in the community, making a difference. But one of the professors I like to tell you about, by the name of Tom Eaton, for many years, he went to one of the local high schools here in Athens, and he helped taught high school mock trial. Now, Professor Eaton wrote a lot of articles and books, but most of the parents and students there probably not read any of them. Not that he didn't write good articles, but they knew him as that law professor that taught their son or daughter how to stand up in front of a large number of people and speak with confidence. They remember him as the person being there with their child on weekends. He got paid nothing for it, probably cost him money. He didn't go trying to make lawyers out of these young people, but some did become lawyers. And one became a lawyer and later clerked on the United States Supreme Court for social justice. You do not have to wait to help people when they're in our legal system. We want to help them stay out of our legal system. Your concern for people cannot be based on your success in the law. You will not win every case you try for a jury. You will not prevail on every argument you make before a judge or judges. And yes, one day you may have to deal with that evil, dreadful word, reversal. The true test of your commitment is to people. It's not what you do or say when decisions are going your way. It's what you do and say when decisions are going against you. For it's easy to be committed to something when you're winning, but the true character and belief is shown when you're losing. You should be willing to shake the hand of your opposing counsel after a disappointing loss, just like you would after a glorious victory. As I indicated to you earlier, you all will be good lawyers. Not good lawyers, great lawyers. Your brilliant legal minds will place you in finance positions in social acceptance and big careers. But and I want you to listen to this, but if you're not helping people, you will not know or experience real success in the law. It can be keeping a large company open so hundreds of employees will keep their jobs and be able to provide for families, or it could be standing in a courtroom with someone who did not have the financial means to hire you, yet you're there representing them with all your ability, that client will be represented as though he or she was paying you $1 million. Why is caring about people and the effect the law will have on them important? I'm sure C.B. King, Judge Wisdom, Ms. Babcock would prefer being not physically attacked or having their family threatened, suffer cruelty on their family and friends, or having hard financial situations. Some would say caring about people brought a cost to them and their families. Now, I'm not going to kid you. You may have sacrifices and it may cost you. But I say to you today, the cost of not caring about people is much higher than anything you will ever face. Because the law is the foundation upon which America is built. As judges and lawyers, we are the protectors of that foundation. It is a privilege that you must respect and be thankful for having the opportunity to be a lawyer. It is a tremendous honor to have someone trust you to represent them in a legal matter. You will have the opportunity to protect someone's liberty, protect their property rights, and sometimes even protect their life. Sometimes everything they have worked for, their life savings, will be entrusted to you. It is the ultimate trust. I want to end with a quote from former President Theodore Roosevelt. He said, "Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care." I know you will care about people, and you will help people have better lives. You will represent them to the utmost of your ability. There's no question in my mind that the people sitting in front of me today will not only be great lawyers, but they will people who make sure that lives of other people are great. It is now your time. I know as lawyers you will represent the highest standard of the legal profession: moral courage, principled devotion to the law, and equal justice for all. Congratulations again, class of 2023, on your graduation, and never ever forget, it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Go Dogs!
Judge Jones, thank you for being here, for your inspiring words, and for helping us honor the heroes of the class of 2023. As we move to the part of the ceremony in which the degrees will be conferred on the graduates, please join me as we make a special presentation. Today is a special day for our graduates, but it is also a bittersweet time as we remember 4 classmates who are not here with us. Davis Bergsogel, Caitlin Brooks, Ellen Scott, and Caleb Thompson would have graduated with the class of 2023. We join their family and friends, several of whom are here today, in mourning their untimely passings. I invite to the podium at this time President of the student body, Alexandra Hammock, and a member of the class of 2023 to share remarks and memories of these dearly missed members of the class. Alexandra.
Good morning. Thank you, Dean Rutledge. My name is Alexandra, and I've had the honor and the privilege of serving as the Student Bar Association president this school year. Today is a momentous occasion, a day of celebrating accomplishments and soaking in time with our friends and our loved ones, reveling in the joy of crossing this incredible finish line. However, today's feelings of joy and excitement are mixed with feelings of grief and loss. Our class has experienced more loss than most. In our 1L year alone, we lost grandparents, mothers, fathers, sisters, and others close to us. And we suffered further significant loss during our 2L. In the fall of 2021, we lost Davis. In the spring of 2022, we lost Caitlin. In the summer of 2022, we lost Ellen. And this past fall, we lost Caleb. 4 students and countless family members in just 3 short years of school. There should be 176 JD candidates graduating today. 172 will walk across this stage. Davis, Caitlin, Ellen, and Caleb were each treasured members of this community, and we feel their absence greatly. The last few weeks, I've spoken to many of the close friends, and I'd like to share a little bit of what they told me. Davis was the perfect example of how to live in the moment. He constantly reminded his friends to never take life too seriously, and in a profession like ours, I think we need that reminder all too often. Davis also had the ability to bring people together that typically wouldn't be in the same room, a skill that we can all learn from. Davis showed those around him the importance of telling your friends you love them and never taking your friends for granted. Everything Davis did, he did to the fullest, including loving his friends. He loved those around him with 100% of himself. Caitlin was a true creative who was never afraid to try something new. What many don't realize is that law school was her second career path, and despite great adversity, she simultaneously showed strength and empathy to all that she interacted with. Caitlin demonstrated how to be truly genuine with those in her circle. Her interactions with friends and classmates can remind us to appreciate each person and the impact of the small actions that we take day to day. Ellen is frequently described as kind. However, she went well beyond kindness. Ellen was a close friend of mine, and she showed her friends a level of intentionality and compassion that constantly surprised and inspired me. Ellen was someone who was quick to listen and was a beautiful example of how to care for those around you. I don't know if Ellen ever knew what a key role she played in my life and in the lives of our other friends, but her memory is evidence of the full life that she lived and the lives she would encourage us all to live. A common theme when I ask about Caleb is his incredible intelligence. Caleb loved to learn, but his love for knowledge went beyond simply accumulating facts and stemmed from his truly curious heart. Caleb saw value in every little thing that makes a system work, and he wanted to be part of the greater community that has an impact in this world. To him, he could learn something from each person he interacted with. Caleb saw value in being a part of something like law school, no matter how small or mundane that something might seem. Caleb also reminded his friends that life is more than just about surviving. Caleb was a reminder that life is about giving yourself grace, taking a breath, and enjoying the ride. Many can look at these losses and think that we are a fortunate group of young adults, students who have experienced more loss than what may be considered fair, and that may be true. However, when I look at these losses and the individuals who suffered losing such key people in their lives, I see some of the strongest individuals I've ever met. I'm a better person for knowing Davis, Caitlin, Ellen, and Caleb. I'm a better person for knowing their friends and their families. I'm a better person for seeing the support, love, and compassion that my classmates have shown to one another and to themselves the last 3 years. This group has surrounded those grieving with immense love, intense care, and immeasurable support. Grief is a strange thing. Some days are good, and some days it feels like I just got a call that another classmate passed away. But going through this as a community has bonded us in a way that's indescribable to most. When I was 14, my grandmother gave me a paperweight, and it said, "A good lawyer knows the law, but a great lawyer knows the judge." And I didn't realize how true that was until this year. Members of our class will go on to be judges, politicians, CEOs, activists, and more. And I'm better for knowing each and every one of you. I know that I will be a better person, lawyer, and friend because of these experiences we shared. That paperweight will sit on my desk in every office and every home that I have going forward as a reminder that our futures are not about the job or the money or any other superficial thing that may arise. It's about the people. It's about you and me and our family and friends. A quote from Caleb's favorite book, The Fellowship of the Rings, feels most appropriate as we close this phase of life. Don't adventures ever have an end? I suppose not. Someone always has to carry on the story. Let's carry on the story together. Will you join me in a moment of silence as we remember our classmates?
Thank you, Alexandra. In moments like this, where a student has made a substantial progress toward fulfilling the requirements for graduation, they may be recommended for the awarding of a degree posthumously. Our university's president, Jerry Moorhead, has accepted that recommendation for Davis, Caitlin, Ellen, and Caleb. And I now invite the University of Georgia's Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. S. Jack Hu, to confer their degrees, followed by a moment of silence again at the moment of the conferral. Dr. Hu.
Good morning, everyone. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, and by the President of the University of Georgia, and now I confer posthumously the degree of Juris Doctor on Sam Davis Barsagal, Caitlin Marie Brooks, Ellen Elizabeth Scott, and Caleb William Thompson. Please join me in a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Provost Hu. It's now time to remember folks who accompanied these students and their classmates along their journey. Let me begin with Dr. Casey Graham. Casey, you've been our sunshine. When we get up in the morning, no matter what the day was before our sun rose, it was there. You were there in good days and in bad. You were there in blue skies and in gray clouds. I can remember the day that Dr. Graham, our Director of Student Affairs, first joined our community. And I'm not quite ready for the fact that Casey's about to leave our ranks as she pursues her dream to become a licensed clinical therapist, helping individuals struggling with mental health and other issues. So Casey, would you please rise? And would all of you join me in thanking Dr. Casey Graham for countless years of service on behalf of the class of 2023. Now, the second group to thank are the faculty, your beloved professors, my colleagues and friends. And I'd like all of you to know three things about this group. First, they are rock stars. They are rock stars in the classroom. They chose this vocation at times when it wasn't always easy for them and their families. They're here because they love to teach, because they love to research, they love to learn. They have chosen to make this profession, and they pour themselves every day into what they do on behalf of our students. Second, they expose you to a rigorous classroom experience. Is it hard? Sometimes. Are cold calls scary? Often. But I ask you this, members of the class of 2023, do you cross this stage better equipped and prepared to become lawyers? Absolutely. And third and finally, they are scholars. Their well of experience and knowledge runs deep. They bring years of practical experience to them, having served as judicial law clerks, worked in corporate counsel jobs, served in firms, nonprofits, governments, local, national, and international organizations. When they are not in the classroom, they are engaged in the kind of work that Professor Tom Eaton engaged in. They change laws and they change lives. So may I ask my colleagues and friends in the faculty to please rise, and ask the heroes of the class of 2023 and their families to join me in a round of applause for this incredible group of people. Now, we have a tradition at a law school commencement that the names of the graduates are read by humans, not artificial intelligence. So in a moment, you're going to hear the names of 3 different sets of degree candidates. Professor Allison Hale, the faculty advisor for the Master in the Study of Law program, will read the names of the Master of Study of Law candidates. Dean Melissa J. Durkee, the Associate Dean of International Programs and Allen Post Professor, will read the names of those students from countries around the world earning our LLM degree. And Professors Nathan Chapman and Associate Dean Kent Barnett, the architect of that top 20 ranking, will read the names of the Juris Doctor candidates, having had their names heard. Sorry, that was an absolute misstatement. Having had their names chosen by the graduating class of 2023. All right. Class of 2023. For those of you who missed that 2020 university graduation, this is what you've been looking forward to for 7 years. May I ask you please to rise. Provost 2. On behalf of the faculty of the University of Georgia School of Law, I am pleased to introduce the candidates for the degrees Master in the Study of Law, Master of Law, and Juris Doctor. Will you please join me at the podium to confer the degrees on them now?
Members of the class of 2023, today marks the successful conclusion of your studies at the University of Georgia. I congratulate you all on this significant milestone achievement. I hope that you will stay connected with the faculty and friends who have supported you during your study at the university. You are receiving a degree from a leading public law schools in the country. I encourage you to use your knowledge and talent to benefit individuals, society, and communities. It is a great honor to officially confer you the degree for which you have been recommended by your dean and faculty. By the authority granted to me by the University Board of Regents, by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, and by the President of the University of Georgia. And I'll confer you the Master in the Study of Law, Master of Law, and Juris Doctor, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated.
So here's what happens. For those of you in the first row only, please follow the directions of the marshals. As your name is called, please come up on this side, cross the stage, and join myself, Provost 2, Judge Jones, and Brian Kane. When that row is complete, the next row may follow.
Nathan E. Burnside. Nikisha L. Cozy. Michelle
M. Creswell. Glenn W. Dyke. Nee Hilton. Yunchik Kang. China M. Martin. Tiara R. McCrae. Jaquarius K. Ragland. April M. Ripley. Rondalyn Terry. Lakia Williams. Sydney A. Wright.
Divine Asegwa. Jeremias Brusao. Rocio Buosi. Gloria Maria Correa. Saide Gosami Mogadam. Sarta Goel. Rauda Hidri. Alexandra Iordanova. Olia Kaluzhna. Alexandra Lampa. Alexandri Jorge Fontes Laranjeira. Manaswini Reddy Mogiligunda. Mahmoud Mohammed. Abdulganiu Mustafa. Bin Win. John Omotunda. Anastasia Popkova. Tatiana Popovkina. Vladislav Rudzinski. Abdullah Talha Tosun. Nyo Quinn Wu. Jazur Ziadanov. Khatia Zukhubaya.
Christopher R. Aker. Lindsay K. Adams. Olivia G. Adams. Nasrina B. Ali Allen. Joshua A. Allen. Eli W. Aubrey. Alexander S. Balzer. D. Brianna Barnett. Sean C. Barrett. Kayla D. Bell. Devin C. Berrigan. Madeline T. Boren. Andrew P. Boyd. Kevin W. Boyd. Emmeline B. Brannon. Caitlin A. Branham. Francis Brown. Nicholas W. Brown. Africa A. Bugs. Kaya J. Bussey. Rachel L. Byers. Victoria M. Caraballo. Colton J. Carpenter. Avery E. Carter. Austin B. Cartwright. Arathna Chandra. Amanda M. Cheek. Gavin M. Childers. Zachary A. Childs. Casey B. Clark. Peyton T. Clements. William D. Corbin. Douglas A. Court. Amani S. Courtney. Amelia Kovaci. M. Tyndall S. Cowan. Gerald N. Cox. John T. Crosby. Emily K. Kroll. Sydney N. Crudo. Jacqueline G. Daniello. Hunter A. Davis. Kevin Davis. Jerry S. Dye. Ethan M. DeLashmet. John T. Denhart. Colin M. Douglas. Chiadera K. Drayton Smith. Hannah C. Dunavant. James C. Durham. Anita A. Amokper. Petra J. Evans. Michael A. Everett. A. Ligon Fant. E. Reed Ferguson. Catherine A. Freeman. Andrew Fribert. Jacob A. Friedman. Riley Gardner. Austin D. Gilbert. Jacob D. Gordon. James C. Grant. Savannah L. Grant. Jonah D. C. Griego. Kate J. Greer. Sydney G. Habegger. Alexandra F. Hammock. Abigail C. Hartline. Carter C. Harwell. John M. Hatfield. Blake A. Heyer. Brennan D. Heyer. Mary Caitlin Hawker. Paul E. Hotchkiss. Tanner R. Huff. Tricia D. Hyatt. Lucas J. Iddings. Edwin F. Jennings. Roby H. Jernigan IV. Emily P. Johnson. Lauren A. Johnson. Lauren E. Jones. Nicole D. Catapodis. Jesse L. Keefe III. Christine Y. Kim.
Mary Claire E. Kimbrell. Christina M. Klein. Jacob N. Koch. Tippy K. Korb. Alexandra R. Kothi. Alexander F. Krupp. Sophia Kurtz. In Melinda Laughlin. Haley S. Laurie. Ethan J. LeBleu. Michael W. Lehman. David Lerner. Matthew D. Lewis. Nicholas R. Lewis. Scott A. Louise. Frank G. Lumpkin IV. Samantha Luzader. Jack K. Mann. Nishka Mullock. Shay R. Maloney. Sydney B. Marcus. Carson H. Messentine. Naja R. Mateen. Katie M. Mayo. Taylor McLean. Sarah Grace D. McCord. Olivia G. McCubbins. Kathleen M. McGeehan. Charles A. McEwen. Copeland C. McMahon. Emmeline P. Michael. Amanda Milner. G. Max Maseko. Raymond R. Molina. Kara B. Musciano. Vasilios N. Nasoulis. Noah C. Nix. Michael E. Oliver. Savannah L. Orange. Ruth M. Owen. Gage C. Patton. Zachary Deere D. Pearsall. Jack F. Pease. Jordan Peoples. Taylor A. Pittman. Michaela N. Pocock. Millie Price. Tico Prophet. Logan R. Purvis. Kyle L. Renner. Michael S. Reynolds and Olive. Miranda F. Rhodes. Courtney H. Robinson. William C. Ruff. Alina N. Salgado. Julian M. Saviano. Anna C. Skartz. Akash P. Shaw. George O. Shepard. Mary F. Sims. Kason B. Smith. Mallory L. South. Santila M. Sparks. James A. Stewart. Brady M. Stoughton. Bethany L. Strain. Brianna N. Sturdivant. Brian G. Subin. Christian M. Sullivan. Philip A. Tapley, Jr. Megan E. Tappan. Justin W. Tillman. Maha S. Tur. Dylanor Tunk. Santiago J. Villa. Elias A. Walker. Liam C. Wall. Nia N. Waller. Haley A. Weatherford. T. Austin Weatherly. Mallory K. Weaver. Ellen T. Williams. Archie L. Wilson, Jr. Samuel Wan. Brianna N. Yates.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the heroes of the University of Georgia Law School class of 2023. Lonnie, do you have that little photo? In closing, before we recess, I'd like to talk to you all for a minute, not as a dean, but as a dad. This is my 9th graduation as a dean, my 20th graduation as a professor. But as you can see from the photo, last Saturday was my first graduation as a parent. So in what used to be Saturday business, I can say to all of your family, I know how it feels. And the genesis of this photo was I was completely lost, and all of a sudden found myself encountering our college graduate, Anna, as she was entering the arena. And what became a moment of disorientation became a hug. And as I was approaching her, I was reminded of 18 years earlier when she was in her first year at Valley Drive Preschool in Alexandria, Virginia. And she was scared, and she was nervous, and there was this wall at the preschool that had stars on it. Separation didn't come easy, but as I was hugging my college graduate, I was remembering what she said to me that first day at drop-off. And she said, "Dad, will you meet me at my star?" And so I want to say to you all as a dad, members of the class of 2023, my colleagues and I are keenly aware of the difficult world that lies ahead of you. And in those moments that Abigail Adams wrote about to her son nearly 250 years ago, when you are confronting that adversity, when you are confronting those difficulties in which heroes are made, virtues are formed, my colleagues and I will always meet you at your personal star. Isn't that the grand compact of higher education? That we equip you with the skills and confidence to go change the world, and you fill us with hope about its future. Friends and family, it's been an honor. And in a moment, we will exit the stage. From there, the graduates will follow us out, recessing row by row. Following the recess, you may exit the Classic Center to join your loved ones outside. And I hope that when you meet them, you feel the sense of pride and joy that I felt as a father in seeing our own daughter at her personal star. Congratulations.